Welcome back to Scotty's Movies, and today I'm going to be going through my top 10 comedy movies of the 1990s. Big comedy fan, it's probably one of my favourite genres. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you a few of my favourites. So let's get started. Okay, so at number 10, we've got Hot Shots Part 2. Now, obviously, I know these two Hot Shot movies. The first one was from, I think it was 1991, and then this one followed it up in 93. Um, I think what it is with Hot Shots Part 2 is basically a spoof of Rambo, and whereas the first one was a Top Gun sort of spoof, and although it is very good, and it probably definitely feature in a top 20 if he did one. I was not massive Top Gun fan, so I sort of just related more to the sort of Rambo spoof. Obviously stars Charlie Sheen, and I think there's also, is it Lloyd Bridges is in it? I know he's in the first one. I think he's in the second one as well. But yeah, it's a funny film. It's just taking the mickey out of Rambo, and yeah, always liked it, and yeah, so that's my number 10. At number 9, we've got Mrs. Doubtfire, starring obviously Robin Williams. Yeah, come out in 1994. Made a boatload of money. And yeah, it's a very funny film. It's got a quite early movie appearance with Piers Brosnan. It's like the sort of the boyfriend of his ex-wife, obviously played by Sally Field. And general plot is he wants to see his kids, and he's obviously going through like a divorce, and he makes up this character of Mrs. Doubtfire, dressing up as his old lady to sort of be like a carer for him, and see his kids more. And it's just a very, very funny film. Yeah, so that's number 9, Mrs. Doubtfire. Now coming in at number 8 is going to be a controversial one. It's an Adam Sandler film, Happy Gilmore. Yeah, I know Adam Sandler's widely known as making bad movies, but I think in the sort of mid-90s when he sort of first started movies, he'd actually make a few good ones, and this is probably my favourite movie of Adam Sandler's. Yeah, he's basically just a hockey player that kind of can't really control his temper, and he learns that he's actually good at golf, and yeah, and he just starts doing lots of golf tournaments to raise money for his grandma's house, so she can keep it. Basically, it's been sold, and yeah, it's just I've always liked it, and it's also got Carl Weathers, obviously Apollo Creed, in the Rocky movies, and yeah, it's definitely recommended if you're any kind of Adam Sandler fan. Even if you're not, if you're going to watch one, I'd watch this one. Also maybe the only other really decent one is, I would say, is probably Billy Madison, which is made around the same time as this one. So coming out at number 7, we've got Wayne's World. Yeah, yeah, Wayne's World. What can you say about Wayne's World? I think when it came out, I was a big Bill and Ted fan from obviously the late 80s, and I know Wayne's World was based on a sketch on the Saturday Night Live, and I think when it first came out, I was thinking it was just like a Bill and Ted rip-off, but it's not really that. You do use the same sort of phrases, but it's about these two guys that have their own sort of cable access show, and yeah, it's just a classic basically. Everyone will probably remember the scene in the car where they're singing along to Bohemian Rhapsody, and yeah, if you've not seen Wayne's World, it's about 30 years old now this year. That's scary. But I did see it on the cinema when it was released, and it's yeah, it's just a classic, and it needs to be seen. Okay, so the next one I've got, and this is the first of two Jim Carrey movies on this list, and it's Liar Liar. Now I could probably name about 4 or 5 Jim Carrey movies from the 90s that I could put in this list. But yeah, I've narrowed it down to these two. First one, Liar Liar. Yeah, he basically plays a lawyer that's he's a classic lawyer. All he does is lie all the time, and unfortunately, due to his lies, he sort of falls out with his son, and his son wishes that his dad couldn't tell a lie for a day. And being a lawyer, he's got a big case going on, and it's not the best thing to have to do, like not lie when you're a lawyer, because it's something he kind of needs to do, and it's just classic Jim Carrey. He's very, very, very funny in this film. Yeah, that's Liar Liar. Definitely recommend that one if you've not seen it. And the next one is from 1999, and it's first ever what went on to become I think there's four sort of main films now, and a load of DVD spin-offs, which I don't bother with. Well, that's American Pie. This sort of redefined the teen comedies in the 90s. It's probably the closest thing to something like Porky's from the 80s. And yeah, most people out there probably seen American Pie now. It's a funny film, and it was, as I say, it wasn't something that we'd done for quite a while, and it sort of snowballed after that with I say a few sequels and similar sort of teen comedies, and we're still kind of getting them today, really. But yeah, that's my American Pie. Okay, the next one is actually The Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear. Now, you would probably see on my best favourite comedies of the 80s, the original Naked Gun in there. Now, yeah, Naked Gun 2, or 2.5, it's something. Leslie Nielsen, it was just a genius. He's obviously known from Airplane, and the Naked Gun movies were based on a TV series called Police Squad, and it's just all really silly jokes and really silly humour basically. And I actually think that the second one is a tad better than the first one. Probably controversial to say that. You might not agree, but I just find it very, very funny. Obviously starring O.J. Simpson, and I think it's George Kennedy's his like police colleagues in there, and Priscilla Presley. Obviously, I think Ms. Alvis's ex-wife was she? Was like the love interest, and it's a very, very funny film. Obviously went on to spawn yet another sequel in Naked Gun 33 and a third. I can't remember if that one was in the 90s as well, but I didn't find that quite as funny. I think that's the weakest of the three. But yeah, if you've not seen Naked Gun 2.5, highly recommend that one. Okay, number 3 is probably one of my favourite musicals of all time. Came out in 1999. I say musicals because the soundtrack is absolutely brilliant, and that's South Park, the movie, Bigger, Longer, Uncut. I think what it was with South Park, I I enjoyed it when it was on the TV, when it first started. And then what they did, they brought this film out. Obviously, they never used to swear on the TV. And I'm not saying like it's just someone swearing makes it funnier, but it kind of did when it comes to South Park. Basically, they go in to watch a movie of Terrence and Phillip, which is like their favourite TV show, and they basically hear him swearing and come out of the cinema, and then they just like swear like troopers. And as I say, there's lots of songs in this. It's ultimately about what's the word? I can't think of the word. It escapes me. Yeah. It's kind of about the devil and Saddam Hussein teaming up to come and take over the earth. Basically, it's as crazy as that sounds. And what they tend to do is get into basically a big war with them, and it's when they try to execute Terrence and Phillip, because obviously they've inflicted all the bad language on the kids, and that's kind of what it is about. It's awful description, I know. But yeah, the comedy in it's brilliant. The music in it's brilliant, and yeah, it's just, like I say, one of my favourite sort of musicals, if you could call it that, of all time. And coming in at number 2 is Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Obviously, Bill Murray's just a genius. I think he plays probably a very similar character in everything he does. But Groundhog Day is obviously a sort of a time loop comedy where he is a weatherman, and he goes to a place in Pennsylvania called Punxsutawney just to see the groundhog, and lives the day, gets stuck in the town because of the weather, and when he wakes up the next day, it's just the same day again, and he's permanently living Groundhog Day over and over and over again, and it's just hilarious. I've seen this movie so many times. You could say it's kind of a bit of a romantic comedy as well, but yeah, Bill Murray's just brilliant, and yeah, next to probably Ghostbusters, I say it's probably my favourite Bill Murray movie. And coming in at number 1, as I said earlier, there's a couple of Jim Carrey movies on this list, and that's going to be Dumb and Dumber. Obviously, this spawned a couple of sequels, one not starring Jim Carrey and one obviously starring him again, which were both garbage, to be fair. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber, when I first saw this, there's not many comedies will bring me to tears, especially, you know, mainstream American comedy movies. But yeah, this was one of them. There's a couple of guys, Harry and Lloyd, that are just stupid, basically, and they just get up to loads of scrapes, and it's just a hilarious movie. And as I say, that's my number 1 90s comedy movie of all time, or favourite. Obviously, you're probably going to have not agree with all of these. Comment down below if you would have any of these in your list, and what are your favourite comedy movies of the 90s? Like I said, comment down below with those as well. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Don't forget to like it, ring the bell for notifications, and give me a sub. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.